The bloody intro didn't play when I clicked it.
Oh, damn.
Check this out, everybody.
Smooth opening.
And we're back. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. It's Some Guy Live. I'm getting a bloody message.
We all are, as you can see, celebrating our Valentine's Day very well. We're talking with you guys about Japanese wrestling.
Yeah. Actually, hold on that icon. First, Isra. First. Thank you, Isra. You were first. Isra, happy Valentine's Day. Let me fly you out and show you the world. Okay.
Good morning.
Welcome to Dumb Guy Live. Dumb Guys are live. In fact, Icon 115. Dumb Guys are live. Congrats to J. Ross for winning the women's draft on the Discord. I imagine most people watching this are in the Discord. But you won the whole thing. I don't interact with the Discord because I hate people. But you won, Jamie-san?
I won. I got $25 from.
You got 25. The last time, the literal only time I've interacted with the Discord in like the last month was to like react to your first round thing because Asahi was on it, and then I haven't thought. We
got $25 and a chain. So you picked up a lot.
$25. Wow.
I only.
What are you gonna spend that on? Prime.
Prime. Yeah. I only interact on the Discord to promote our show and to get that money. So
hang on.
Speaking of getting that money,
holy moly! Far 52222. We love you, Far. Far, you are the most loyal of Wrestle Purists fans / contributors. We love you, Far. Here is your winner's purse for that draft, Jamie. A $50 super chat. Everybody, get on Far's motherfucking level. Get back to it. It's back to just get on it. You know what I mean?
Far was my opponent in the draft final, so I want to thank Far.
Oh,
for
really?
A good battle. Yeah, we had a good one.
I'm sure Far had a good team, but bro, even if it wasn't Jamie-san, even if it wasn't my co-host, he literally had Asahi on his team. Like, I'm gonna vote for that no matter what. So I'm a fan of that. Reginald, she is not a bot. I feel like you and I are a little bit hostile. Reginald, we're on a little bit of bad terms. Don't call Isra a bot. All right. If I understand you're Jamie's associate, but
yeah, his name. I'm gonna peel back the curtain. His name's Rinu.
His name's what?
His name's Rinu.
Rinu.
Yeah.
That's not a name.
Okay.
Renew, like to renew a subscription.
Like RINU. Renew.
What the fuck? All right, I'm not sure about that. It's freaking Dumb Guy Live, everybody.
Wow.
Welcome to the show. I'm excited because we are in the middle of concluding some really important tours in Japan, and we are getting set for one of these, for probably the most important show by a Japanese company, unless you count Forbidden Door, which is of course co-produced, since the start of the pandemic. Of course, we're talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling's Battle in the Valley. First, do you guys want to talk about that first, or should we talk about a New Beginning first? What do you guys want to do?
I want to start with some New Beginning, I think.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that then. We'll recap this weekend. Hello, fellow dumb guy Kyle. New Beginning in Osaka. Always a big show. Always a lot of fun because it kind of sets up the rest of the year, right? Getting into the New Japan Cup, and then into Dominion, of course, for New Japan, which has a really just nicely laid out schedule, by the way. Like, I don't know about you guys, one of the best things for New Japan for me is how reliable they are in their scheduling, and the tours all seem to make sense. They're consistent year after year. And I love the New Beginning tour because they always have the lesser New Beginning shows like Nagoya and Sapporo and all that type of stuff, where you get some lower like titles and big time singles matches. And then of course the conclusion of the tour is always main evented by the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, which was, we're going to start with, an incredible match. Kazuchika Okada successfully defending the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against Shingo Takagi. If Okada had won, this was like, was this technically a double title match? If Okada had won, would he have? It does, or no, it wasn't because he won.
No.
Yeah, what am I talking about? There was
He'd
like
have
some
kinda
weird
been-
stiffs with that, where like if Great Okan beat Shingo, then he was gonna get the shot and the title. And anyway, regardless, this match was incredible. Murph, you are about as big of a Shingo fan as there is. How was this match for you?
It was awesome. Do I wish Shingo won just off pure bias? Yes, but I understand you want Okada as the champ going into such a big match in the Tokyo Dome. But wow, it was incredible. Do I think it was the best Okada versus Shingo match? I would say no.
See, I think it was. I think it was.
I have my trusty cage match. I forget the date of the one that I preferred. So
Well, is it G1 2020? Is it the one where Shingo won the title, or is it Tokyo Dome?
It's G1 2020. That's the one I was thinking.
That
of.
match is incredible,
Well,
and that show, that was like one of the best G1
Was that
shows ever.
Osaka? Was that on the Osaka show that year?
I don't remember where it was, but it was, that show had Suzuki versus Ibushi,
Yes, that was the
Osprey,
Osaka show.
Taichi, and Ishii versus Cobb.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Which was just like, wow.
It may be because that was such a terrible time for our world, and that was really one of the only things going for it. So maybe that's why I think of that match so fondly. But this match was incredible. Notebook as good as it gets. I mean, Okada is the best ace in the world, and Shingo in New Japan as a top guy will never not be surreal for me, because as a Dragon Gate fan, Dragon Gate's the second/third biggest company, whatever you want to do, in Japan, and you can. It's a big thing, but New Japan is New Japan. I mean, it's like not even close. And seeing a guy like Shingo, who's an older guy, he was in the small junior company for all these years. Is a guy who I don't think anyone thought, a guy who had a scandal when he was younger. I mean, this guy has gone through so much, and now he's a New Japan main eventer. He's a multi-time, I believe, new IWGP World Champion, and this guy just deserves it. And I love the match. Okada Tanahashi next. I mean, if you're an idiot if you're not excited for that, I mean, because it's like the greatest rivalry in the history of Japanese wrestling, arguably wrestling. I mean, it's just like instant classic. But New Japan kind of lost me during the pandemic a little bit. It just happens, But New Japan's back.
We have a $5 super chat from Andrew.
Top G.
I think we can assume his last name. I can't do an impression because his accent is preposterous. It's like,
I got it.
Long time subscriber of Hustlers University. Love your work on the Discord. Keep it up, Top G.
Thank
G.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I am a top G.
So I assume he's saying that you're a longtime subscriber of Hustlers University.
I've never,
which is true.
I've never subscribed to Hustlers University, but
I don't know.
I'm a top
I'm
G.
just thinking, why were you gone?
I drink my water with bubbles. Because water, still waters for pussies. So I drink my bubbly water, and I listen to Tuna.
Water.
So thank you, Andrew. I'm a top G. I'm my dumb guy live character is a top G in a tape file, but Shoot Murph is not a tape file, but
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you playing a character right now? This is
like
this is
Larry
real.
David. It's like Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's just an
Oh,
exaggerated.
okay. All right. Okay. I can see
It's an
that.
exaggerated version.
All right. Anyway, yeah. Thank you for the super chat, Mr. Tate. I appreciate it, and I think I speak for everybody at Wrestle Purists when I say we're wishing you a quick exit from prison.
Free top G.
Romania. Yep. All right. So yeah, I thought, Jamie, this match was one of the 5 best matches. Obviously, it's only February, but still, with so much great wrestling. With Dynamite being incredible every single week, and then of course you get big time main events in all these different Japanese countries. I thought this was one of the 5 best matches of the year thus far. I do think that it fell into like New Japan main event formula a little bit, like at the start. Like it was kind of like they're just kind of waffling a little bit at the start, right? But I mean, bro, the last like 10-15 minutes are like just unbelievable out of this world. And the crowd, I love the Osaka New Japan fan base. They're just so rabid for everything they see. And like, I do of course, if you go to there, right, at Dumb Guy Live, you see the spreadsheet of match ratings that I keep. I try to watch just about everything worth watching. And sometimes I'm like, man, I'm giving out a lot of like really high ratings. Am I inflating my stuff? Am I too easy or whatever? And then I'm like, no, wrestling is better when fans are allowed to cheer and get into things. And yeah, guess what? This match, if it had been in front of a cavernous, silent, sit on their hands pandemic crowd, no, it probably wouldn't have been as damn good as it was. But regardless,
crowds are part of wrestling.
It's part of wrestling, and I was so hyped. For
and the one thing I wish this match had, I wish it was in Osaka Joe, because I just think Osaka Joe.
I know that's just such an awesome venue.
New Beginning was in Osaka Joe in 2020, but I wish that it was in Osaka Joe just for the atmosphere and the big match feel. But Edion's just such a historic venue, so I mean you can't get wrong there. But this match in Osaka Joe would have been, oh my god. I mean the acoustics in that, oh my god, like that's the only downside.
Oh my god.
Fuck you.
Oh my god. All right, Jamie, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, just echoing all the things you said before, as well touching on like the crowds being back. I feel like I say it now every time we have like a big match since crowds have come back, but it's like it's a huge part.
No, I mean it's so important. Like it adds so much to everything. There's all Japan's running these goddamn Shinkiba shows, and it might as well be the goddamn Tokyo Dome with how loud they are in there. It's like I legitimately, I never thought that I would lose the appreciation, and of course I was always very excited for cheering to come back. But it has somehow like even surpassed my memory and my expectations for what I expect out of Japanese wrestling. It's just the best. Continue, Jamie.
Yeah, it's been like 3 years, so it's huge having fans back. But this match was incredible. I love my favorite moment of this match. You've probably seen, like, if you've not seen the match, you've probably seen clips of it. Okada's going for the Rainmaker, and Shingo just quickly spins around and absolutely flans him with one of his own. And it's like there's some meaty lariats in this match.
Closing sequence was great. Yeah,
but like Murph was talking about before, there's been like a ton of great matches between these two, but this, I personally, for me, this one is the best that these two have had.
Yeah, I think it's the best. Yep.
Yeah, and as well, talking about Okada, we're gonna get into the stuff he's got coming up a little later, but he won our Wrestler of the Week for this week, due to this match. I said in our group chat earlier, Okada might win like back to back because he's got he's got Tanahashi coming up this week, and then the week after that, Kaito Kiyomiya. So I mean, the Mercedes match, maybe if that's like as good as it could be, that could maybe pose a threat to it. But if these Okada matches are as good as like we know Okada and his opponents can be, then he might do the 3-peat here. But yeah, this match was great.
Awesome match, awesome main event. Just like classic New Japan, right? This is the match that you show people where it's like, this is why New Japan had so many rabid fans in 2016, 17, 18, right? It's just classic stuff that is really just next level. And there's, other companies in Japan try to emulate it, right? Every company now kind of does the 30-minute main event formula, but unless you're Kento Miyahara, there's like nobody out there who does it quite like New Japan, right? So great match. They are between two of the best in the world too, right? Like, it's Okada and Shingo. We knew it was going to be good. I think there was probably a slight bit of trepidation because there was literally zero chance Shingo was going to win this. But even with that, it was just great. And they did everything they could. Like, they had Shingo hit the Last of the Dragon, and they had, the closing stretch went long enough to where it was like, oh my gosh, they're really going for it here. Like, anything could happen from here, because at a certain point, if you've watched enough, you get the pattern of, okay, Okada hits the spinning Rainmaker. That means he's probably going to hit the actual Rainmaker, but he hits his first spinning one, and then it's like 3 minutes before the match ends. So I thought they were just geniuses there. It was great. Let's talk about the rest of the show. I didn't think the rest of the show was that great overall. I did enjoy the rest of the show, but I didn't think there was anything crazy either. Let's just go in reverse order. Tama Tonga successfully defending the never open weight title against El Phantasmo. This match went like 25 minutes, 26 minutes. I don't think anybody really wanted it to go that long. It ended up being good because again, Tama Tonga is just so over, and it was a hot closing sequence. Frankly, you guys, I am not a huge Phantasmo fan. I think his best matches have been against incredible workers and unique circumstances. So, I mean, just about all the best matches.
Parker, I will say the opposite.
Yeah,
I'm a pretty
really.
Big
you think it's Tonga's fault?
But I'm not a Tonga guy. I just don't see it.
See, I've seen Tama Tonga put on great performances against a wide variety of opponents in the last year, from people like Sonata, Taichi, obviously Jay White, right, all over the place.
I'm a headbanger,
right? But Phantasmo, I mean, he had a great Robbie Eagles match in this Best of Super Juniors. But the rest of them, it's like, oh, you had a great match with Will Ospreay. Oh, you had a great match with Shingo.
Sting.
Oh, you had a great match with Rocky Romero, where the story was all about Rocky, right?
Sting.
What's that?
You had a great match with Sting.
With Sting, we were there for that. I'm not sure Phantasmo was the reason that match was so great.
I like the back rigs. The back rigs were fun.
Yeah, and I think he's like great. He's a great, like, house show guy where he does all the shtick with the heel stuff, and you never know if there's something in his foot or whatever and all that. But I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of ELP personally. I do love Tama Tonga, at least this current iteration of him, and I'm looking forward to him like wrestle an actual match, like an actual like long wrestling match, not doing anything with Bullet Club, like some different challenger. Could be really exciting. I would love to see him versus Ishii. I think that would be great. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts there. Really quickly, you guys. My long lost child, father, is that you? I finally found you. $2. I do not recognize this child as mine. I'm gonna need a lot more in super chat money to do that. So no, it's not me. It's someone else. Okay, what did you guys think of this one?
Yeah, I enjoyed this match more than I thought I would. I'm similar. I'm not like a huge El Phantasmo fan. I think he's like fine and all that. I just don't think he's like crazy good. But I am high on Tama Tonga. I think fans being back cheering is that's going to benefit him a lot, because like you said, he's super over. I really enjoyed the closing stretch of this, trading a lot of reversals. Tama got the big win, but it definitely did not need to go this long. Which has been the case for a few matches on this tour. We talked about the Naito and Shota one last week. I think this was another case of this, but it was a good match. If you cut a chunk out of this match, I think you could be like a really pretty solid match, more so than it was. But yeah, I had fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it for the most part. Like I had a good time watching it. It just wasn't like, I do feel like somewhere in here there's something actually really good between these two, and it wasn't quite like, it was more than that. Like it was 26 minutes, and it maybe should have been like 14. What do you think, Murph?
Yeah, it was a little long for me, and I think I preferred obviously the main event, but I mean, I didn't really vibe with this undercard. It's not really my cup of tea. I kind of think of the other New Beginnings kind of as the undercard, like building up to
that makes sense.
So I like, it didn't really like do anything for me. Well, I'll get to the highlight of my undercard in a bit.
Yeah. Oh, just real quick. Yo, Reginald in the live chat.
Yeah,
please relax.
Chill, bro. You're being like weird right now. So then we had third from the top. This could have real implications. This was Loser Leaves Japan, Switchblade Jay White against Hikuleo. I saw some people who thought this match was incredible. I saw some people who thought this match was 28 minutes and therefore horrible. I'm kind of in the middle of the two. I really do enjoy Jay White as a performer. I think he makes things more like this type of match he's better at than just about anybody. With that being said, I still think this type of even being better at this type of match than just about anybody is not as good as being like just doing normal wrestling. You know what I mean? So I mean, the drama was obviously there. I wish I had gone in unspoiled. I did, of course, see the results. I wasn't able to watch live. I think I would have enjoyed it a bit more if I had gone in completely unspoiled, knowing that Hikuleo ends up winning at the end. But I will say that, you know, regardless, the drama was great between these two. And yeah, I mean, this could mean a lot of different things. This could mean a lot of different things.
What I will say on this match is one thing. Jay White is playing the game.
You're gonna get us copyright struck.
Less than 30 seconds. Jay White is going to WWE. Are we gonna start like, oh, we make on AEW? I'll do something on this podcast if he goes to AEW. There's no chance he's going to WWE. Let's like stop the wishful thinking he's in. He's going to WWE. He's gonna face the Miz. Right.
This is an opportunity we should take advantage of, Parker. What can we get Murph to do if Jay White does go to AEW? I feel like he's a.
Oh yeah, what could we get him to do, bro? I don't know. I mean, we'll see. It's Jay White who, like, obviously he's all in on whatever he's doing at all times, right?
I just don't see him doing a loser leaves Japan angle if he's going to AEW, who works with New Japan. Like, it just doesn't add up to me. I feel like if he's doing loser leaves Japan, he's going to WWE. It's just my Wrestle Purist. I will not go bald like Aiden Ross. I am a top G, but I'm not the bottom G, so I'm not going to be like Aiden Ross. So it's not happening.
Yeah. So in any case, what do you guys think of the match itself?
I thought it was like, I'm not a Jay guy. I really don't think he's not my guy. He's not my cup of tea of wrestling. I mean, if you tell me watch Ospreay or Jay White, like, you know, I'm picking Ospreay all day. I mean,
tell me you whether watch the best wrestler in the world.
Yeah, but Jay White, like, some people were like, oh, Jay White's storytelling in his promos. I think MJF's a better promo, and I think Roman Reigns does the storytelling during the match is better. So I mean, I don't really think that Jay White's that good. I think that, you know, he's caught some fun, but I mean, he can rip out a good promo and he can wrestle a good match, but he's just not my. I've never been that high on Jay White. I mean, I like Jay White I honestly like Jay White on his excursion, you know, just just wrestling. You know, now he's like the catalyst of pro wrestling, and it's just not really my thing. You know, I wish him well in the WWE, and, you know, I think we can move on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, I think Jay White's better than MJF at like most things. I'm a big Jay White guy. I'm not a huge Hikuleo fan, so the match itself wasn't like anything great. It did have the drama, you know. It goes for the, you know, he's got him in the choke slam, and Jay White's throwing up the too sweet, trying to get one last, you know, trying to appeal to him. But as you know, the match wasn't anything crazy, but the implications of the match are like the main talking point, really, I guess. I do think he'll go to WWE. I don't know.
I really don't want him to. Like, this is not just me being like anti-WWE, but I feel like he's just so like perfectly suited to New Japan.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think it's within his realm of possibility. Like, obviously, if you followed him when he was a young lion, and especially on Excursion and Ring of Honor, you know that he can just be like a great, just like pure wrestler. Like, he can just be like a professional wrestler out there who's you know, doing moves and things like that. But he's just so, I don't know, he's so his own guy and his own performer that I'm not sure how that translates to American TV consistently. He was good when he was on AEW TV, but he didn't like light the world on fire either, like you would expect an IWGP World Heavyweight Champion to do. You know what I mean? So I guess we'll see. And also, just like, frankly, I think WWE is bad. Like, like, I don't think if you're a good wrestler, I don't want to see you on WWE because I'll watch you maybe once a month if you're on every single pay-per-view. and maybe half of those will end up being good, generously, right? So we'll see about that. But yeah, I don't want to see Jay White wrestle The Miz or Baron Corbin or any of these people who are just like not good at what they do, but still have jobs because they have like WWE cachet or whatever.
Yeah. If he does end up, leaving New Japan altogether, what happens to Bullet Club?
Yeah, I think this is a good. Yeah, I think this and this sort of definitely seems like ELP is who's taking over.
Bullet Club. I'm just ready for it to be done. Like I get why.
Yeah, I am too. Like they really they did they obviously have added the United Empire, but it's now shockingly been 2.5 years of the United Empire at this point.
We're gonna get to like the kind of the faction shakeup in the next match has kind of been my favorite thing in New Japan right now. But like the Bullet Club, like it's just, I feel like the Bullet Club should have ended when the Elite left. I think that should have been the end of the Bullet Club, and they should have rebranded. Like, cause like the Bullet Club now is like just not the same. I mean, like I maybe they still sell shirts in Japan. I don't really see Bullet Club shirts in the US anymore, but whatever. But I think that the Bullet Club needs to end, and they just need to, do a little shake up.
Okay, let's talk a little bit more. We got a couple more notable matches to get through. Never Openweight 6-man tag team championships. This was the fresh team of Minoru Suzuki, El Desperado, and Ren Narita defeating House of Torture to win the titles. Finally, we have House of Torture.
Really invested in this El Desperado, Ren Narita, and Minoru Suzuki thing. This is the highlight of the undercard for me. This is the thing I probably love the most in the company right now. My God, Ren Narita is... When he came back, I was like, he's a good wrestler, but what else does he bring to the table? But now I feel like with Desperado with him and Suzuki, I think this guy is the real deal. And I really, really enjoyed this match. I enjoyed it more than probably most people did, and I really, really like this trio. And I hope that they build on this from here to come. And I would build to a Ren versus Minoru Suzuki match with Narita winning, and this become a real thing.
So this Suzuki Desperado Narita group is now called Strong Style, officially christened Strong Style. It's still like a little boring to me. Like I don't care. You know what I mean? It's like it's whatever. It's not that distinctive. They could have been named anything else, in my opinion. But this is the group.
Better than just 4 guys.
Just 4 guys. I literally think Just 4 Guys is a better faction name than Strong Style.
I like the best of the new faction names is Good Looking Guys over in Noah.
Good Looking Guys is good. Yeah. Because it's accurate. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I can't think of like anybody who would have preferred House of Torture stay as champions here, right? For me, as soon as the first like Dick Togo interference or Evil pulling the turnbuckle pad off or anything like that, or if they start like brawling happens, my like eyes glaze over and I start checking my phone. I hate the House of Torture. I think they're one of the worst acts of all time, and hopefully they're getting close to disbanding sometime soon. But yeah, because also it's like Yujiro sucks. Like who cares? But like Evil and Show can be good, and they're not right now because of what their bullshit what
if Evil takes over Bullet Club? The House
Evil
of Torture
takes over Bullet Club. Faction. Whoa, that'd be crazy.
Yo.
Remember there was like a report a couple years ago that like the G1 was going to be all about like Bullet Club interfaction stuff and House of Torture, and then that just like didn't happen. Anyway,
those voices I probably should stop talking.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know why you said that, Murph. All right.
Reports have just been waffle.
Yeah, sometimes I just be waffling. We also had a big time singles match that I didn't think ended up being very good, frankly, which was Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Kenta. Obviously, the point here to give Tanahashi a big singles win to allow him to challenge for IWGP Heavyweight Championship in the end of the show, which he did. I just didn't think there was like anything to this match.
The one was so much better. Like it's like not even close.
Like, why? What's up with Kenta? Why can't Kenta just like have great singles matches anymore? I don't know what happened.
At this point, the idea of Kenta is better than the thing of Kenta. Like
Makes
you
me
said,
sad.
It is. It's really is sad. You kind of showed like flashes in that Noah tag match a couple weeks ago. That I thought was good, but I mean Noah. But I mean that's just different. But I mean
Kicked
Kenta.
Tanahashi's teeth out, and then you just lost, and the match wasn't even that good.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk too much about this, honestly. Like it's
I kind of just want Kenta to go to Noah permanently. Just team with Shigure.
Yeah, like I feel like every time he's in a
whatever,
tag team setting, especially when you get some of that inter-promotional like drama between them, I think that becomes really nice. But I don't know. It's just it's sad. It's Kenta, bro. It's literally Kenta, like one of the best wrestlers of the 2000s and into the 2010s, and now he's just Kenta. And you know, coming to New Japan, he never really got that big time run that I think a lot of people expected, right? He hasn't really done all that much of note in New Japan.
He was the U.S. champion.
He was the U.S. champion. He beat John Moxley.
Wait, he wasn't the U.S. champion. He basically was the U.S. champion. He had that. Wait, was he U.S. champion?
He was. He beat Moxley for it, didn't he?
No.
Or was that no? Archer did.
No, he had that briefcase and he was like the de facto champion for like a year.
Maybe I don't remember. Right. So then, yeah, the other one was like Taiji Ishimori versus Master Wato. I thought this match was really good, actually. The crowd's into Wato for whatever reason, and I thought this was good undercard singles match for the juniors.
I like Wato.
Yeah. Okay, that is New Beginning in Osaka. Good show overall. Main evented by like a borderline match of the year contender, in my opinion,
easily,
which makes it worthwhile. Okay. Let's go into preview mode here. We'll sort of jump back to some recaps as we get later on in the show, but we have delayed for too long in talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling Battle in the Valley this weekend. It is Mercedes Monet's first match, Monè, outside of WWE since leaving in like what was it, like May of last year?
Yes.
So yeah, it's been literally 9 months since we've seen her at all, except for her popping up at Wrestle Kingdom just to sort of say hi, right? And she's challenging for the IWGP Women's Championship, currently held by Kairi, in the semi-main event, the double main event of New Japan Pro Wrestling Battle in the Valley. So, how are you guys feeling about this one? How do you think the result's going to go? And then we'll talk a little bit later about like the standing of it on the card.
I think that, you know, it's two of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time. I mean, legitimately, I think it's my favorite women's wrestler in Kairi ever. You know, Mercedes is also one of the best. And you know, am I as excited as I thought I'd be when I was on January 4th? Am I as excited as I thought I was going to be for this match? No. But I think that may be a good thing, because I think that this match is going to blow me away. And I'm going to be like, right, both these people are so good. And that, you know, I think that Mercedes Monè would be coming off a TV run in AEW before this? Yes. Am I disappointed? Yes. Is she bad because of it, like some people are saying? No. You know, it's just it didn't work out the way I expected. But I think Mercedes is, you know, so good. And I think Kairi is so good. And I think that they are going to do really well. I hope that Mercedes knocks off the ring rust real fast, which I think she would, because she's a pro, and pros usually do that. And I think that Mercedes is going to do really well. And I think Mercedes is going to win the title. And, you know, I don't know how long this run outside of WWE is going to be. But I think that, you know, she's going to do well during it. And I hope that she ends up in AEW. I don't think she will, but I hope so. But, you know, I'm going to enjoy this New Japan Stardom run just because, you know, you got to, right?
You're such a stan. You turned this all into AEW talk.
Well, you see, I'm trying to, like, say, like, be honest and saying, like, wow, I wish she was in AEW, but also, like, not be an idiot like some people on Twitter and say, oh, she's bad, you know. She's bad because she didn't show up on January 4th and January 11th, and you know, I'd rather have Jamie Hayter. I'm like, no, that's fucking ridiculous. But
well, here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say Sasha Banks is the best modern American women's wrestler out there, and I'm gonna say Kairi is one of the best Japanese women's wrestlers of the 21st century. All right, and it is a legitimate dream match. It's one that we never got this in WWE, right? Like, no. So it's got that completely unique factor to it. It's Kairi, who we've seen in sort of a part-time basis since returning to Stardom, who's incredible, by the way. I think she had fantastic performances just about every time she had a match last year, except I wasn't a huge fan of the Saya Kamitani match, but that's about it, right? I thought just about everything else was like excellent, maybe, you know, on a per minute basis, one of the best wrestlers in the world. So I am stoked for this one.
My apologies. We got Kairi versus Sasha in the Performance Center, and it ended in a DQ.
They were, the Hair and Bailey were feuding with the Kabuki Warriors. That's what I was trying to think if they had like a single
Kabuki Warriors.
Kabuki Warriors. So I mean, I have full faith this match is going to be fantastic. I think this has a chance to be the best women's match in America all year. That's how high my expectations are for these two. And so I'm really looking forward to it. I'm almost disappointed now. I'm gonna be trying to watch and also do Elimination Chamber coverage for F4W at the same time. But I'm super like really couldn't be any more excited for this. I think some of the excitement has been tempered by the fact that Mercedes showed up 6 weeks ago. And because things just nowadays happen so fast in the wrestling world, that I think the sheer excitement has dropped off, right? Yeah, exactly like I'm saying, Lamora. I don't think this means that she really needs to kill it, right? She kind of needed to kill it no matter what, and I have 100% full faith that she will.
This hasn't changed anything.
But bro, like, it's Sasha. It's the person who, the one person you could count on to throw in there against just about anybody in WWE and kill it. Just have a great match. Like, she had matches with each of the, you know, three other, like, four pillars of the women's division, right? Better than any of the other combinations put together, except for maybe Becky Charlotte, but even that, you know, is debatable, right? So she, like, I think you're being like way much of an overreaction if you're like, I'm not sure about this, you know, we'll see. It's Sasha Banks and Kairi, who, like, their resumes speak for themselves. They're both young, by the way. Kairi's like 35. Sasha just turned 30. So I don't know. I think if you're not like completely stoked for this match, like, I don't know what wrestling is for you. You know what I mean? Jamie, what do you think?
Yeah, agreed on all that. Like, you know, about the stuff of the excitement kind of waning.
It just feels like online stuff that, like, people are way overthinking because people check Twitter all day, every day.
I'd say a little bit of it is like, you know, understandable. Like, you know, there's not been, like, we've not seen them on New Japan or Stardom or anything since.
Right, there's been no build.
Yeah, but I would also say a considerable majority of it is just like, she didn't appear on AEW, so now we don't like her.
Yeah, there's definitely some of that. There's definitely some of that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of it. But the match should be incredible. You've already said, like, she's one of the best American women's wrestlers like we've ever seen. Kairi, you know, while she's not consistently on every show, like almost every time she is, it's like a must-see match. So it just should be amazing.
Also, first time seeing Kairi in front of cheering since before the pandemic. You know, since she was in WWE. Of course, there was a little bit of cheering in the Wrestle Kingdom match, but that match also went 6 minutes. So yeah, I mean, this is the first like real thing we're seeing from Kairi in years.
Yeah, in terms of the results as well, I do think Mercedes is winning. There've been reports about when we're next expecting to see her, and I believe it's Sakura Genesis and All Star Grand Queendom, which both are in April, I believe. And those two shows have been rumored to have IWGP women's title matches on them. This All Star Grand Queendom is going to be like one of, if not the biggest, Joshi shows of the year, based on like rumors of like other companies being involved. So it would shock me if that title isn't on the line there. So yeah, I am expecting her to win. But yeah, like you know, we know how good these two are. So I'm expecting a really great match here.
Again, viewers, get it through your heads. It's fucking Sasha Banks outside of the WWE constraints.
Yeah, be excited.
Like, guys, come on, bro. People think this is why I'm like people shouldn't be on social media, or like as much as they are. Like, people are looking way too much into like, oh, she's a troll, you know, she's so intent on doing things her own way, and it's like, what's she gonna do? And bro, has she ever like not put on like great performances every time she's been asked? It's Mercedes. Come on. And it's Kyrie. This match is going to be great. I'd bet money on it. This match is going to be stellar, fantastic.
Yeah.
And the crowd's going to be so into it because it's Sasha Banks, who hasn't wrestled in 9 months. Like, come on, you guys. If Sasha Banks was out for, like, if she tore her ACL and she was gone for 9 months and then she came back to WWE, like, say instead of leaving, she tore her ACL and then she came back at Elimination Chamber, the crowd would explode with excitement at her coming back. And because of this weird AEW dynamic here, now people are like bummed about it. But dude,
and you AEW fans that are now like kind of anti Sasha, we remember your tweets when you were like, she's gonna save the women's division, she's gonna have matches with all these, you know. It's like, you know, we remember.
The switch up is like, just be consistent is all I basically say.
If you never liked her, which is like, I mean, I don't get it, but like, if you've always not liked her, then fair. But you know, there's been a lot of switch ups.
Like, what I'd say is, don't lie about your wrestling takes. Like, if you didn't watch the 5-star Grand Prix, don't lie about the 5-star Grand Prix. If you don't know who Ami Saray is, don't lie that you know who Ami Saray is. I mean,
who could that be about?
That's right. Not familiar. No. Okay. Let's talk about the rest of this card, boys. In the main event, oh, by the way, fucking Okada versus Tanahashi for the first time in years. Yes, the main event will be Kazuchika Okada defending the IWGP Heavyweight Championship against Hiroshi Tanahashi. Some people think Tanahashi's washed. I personally don't think he's washed. I think he's absolutely fantastic, and he has yet to show me any reason to not believe in him. My only thought is, because this match is, number one, following what is frankly a more anticipated match in Mercedes versus Kyrie, and because it's sandwiched between 2 weekends where, one, it was the main event of the New Beginning tour, and then at the Tokyo Dome in an interpromotional match, that my thought is that they might not go super hard on this one like you would expect from Okada Tanahashi. It's given me a little bit of G1 2019 Dallas American Airlines Center vibes. Murph knows what I'm talking about, right? Where that match was great, but it wasn't like 5-star match of the year contender banger that you expect from Okada and Tanahashi. What's that?
I never watched that show.
What? How?
I didn't watch any New Japan in 2019.
Why?
Because when the Elite left, I didn't really care.
You missed so much good.
I watched like Shingo matches, but like that's it.
You need to watch. You know what the best match of that year's G1, and nobody says this, but I genuinely believe this. What's that?
Ospreay Lance Archer.
No, that match was great though.
I've seen that. I haven't seen
the best match of that G1 was Ospreay versus Ibushi at Korakuen.
Oh, I've seen that. I saw the finals. I just didn't like watch every New Japan show like I had. Like I watched, but like I didn't really care about most stuff other than the Elite, so I only watched the big matches.
I don't know, man. Anyway, so this is kind of the vibes I'm getting for this. Now, it's literally Okada and Tanahashi. It is the preeminent feud in Japanese pro wrestling in the last 15 years. All right. You'd be insane to think this was going to be anything other than great based on like standard understandings of what great pro wrestling is. However, I do think this might not get to that next level, unbelievable, stellar, must see match of the year contender level. But regardless, what do you guys think about this one? Also, the fact that again Tanahashi's not winning this.
I personally, it's Okada Tanahashi, so I'm excited. Like I understand,
Yes,
but
I'm excited too. I'm just saying, I'm just putting it in context for our viewers.
With all due respect to Kyrie and Mercedes Monè, which is a dream match and as big as it gets, it's not bigger than Okada Tanahashi. I mean, it's Okada Tanahashi. It's Okada Tanahashi.
So wrong on that.
It's literally the biggest rivalry in the history of Japanese wrestling.
It's in San Jose, and we've seen it 87 times.
Yeah, it's right in front of Dave Meltzer. You think they're not going to go hard in front of Dave Meltzer?
I don't think they care.
Oh, they care. Okada reads it every Friday.
Every Friday Meltzer doesn't write for Tokyo
Friday
Sport.
when Okada's drinking his coffee, he's reading the Observer.
No, he's hanging out with his son. Anyway, you're so wrong. No, like, that's crazy. I love Sasha, Mercedes. No,
dude,
no.
It's Hiroshi Tanahashi and Okada. Like it's legitimately, it's like.
I'm not arguing that that's a great match. I'm not arguing that that's the best rivalry in Japanese pro wrestling. What I'm saying is, it's Sasha Banks wrestling outside of WWE against maybe the best women's wrestler of the 21st century outside of Tsukasa Fujimoto.
Yes, if it was so big, it could be the main event.
What? It's New Japan. They don't have a women's. This is their second IWGP women's title match ever.
I think this is just a difference of things, but it's Okada Tanahashi. I'm not going to say that Okada Tanahashi isn't the biggest thing in the show because it's always the biggest thing in the show. It's the biggest match that you can make every year in year out because it's always going to be good. It's always going to be great. What am I saying? It has a 4.5 floor. The Okada Tanahashi match has a 4.5.
It does not. Excuse me. I rated the 2019 one 4.25.
But
you knew the moment that they announced that the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship was being defended, that was main eventing regardless of whether it's Tanahashi. The fact that this is like using the fact that it's main eventing is not. If Tori
it was announced a week in advance. If this was the main event, they would have announced it months.
It's Tanahashi. I think this is just a difference of opinion, but it's Okada Tanahashi. It's as big as it gets.
They would have, but all the tickets are sold already. They haven't sold.
Yeah, they should have ran a bigger venue. We already had
Okada Tanahashi sold zero tickets, and that's what I'm saying.
A lot of tickets. I just disagree. I think Okada Tanahashi. And again, I love Monè. Kyrie is my favorite women's wrestler of all time. It's not like I'm down on these people. It's Okada Tanahashi. It's undeniable. It's the main event of all main events that you can book in Japanese wrestling. It's Okada Tanahashi in the U.S. in a IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match. Okada Tanahashi is the match. I'm sorry.
Kyle is correct.
Aww.
Kyle is the correct one here. Jamie's right. The IWGP title is main eventing no matter what. Of course, the IWGP title. Even if it was Lance Archer, it was going to main event. The only reason Tanahashi's doing it is so they could have a reason to say that this match should go over Sasha Banks. All right, because just about anybody else on the roster, you can't throw Jeff Cobb out there. You can't throw Great O'Khan out there. You can't throw Fred Rosser out there and be like, hey, this is bigger. All right. No. We have some super chats to get to. Let's fucking put a pin in this. I'm mad at you, Merv. We have the war criminal Benito Mussolini. Mercedes, $5. Mercedes is about to turn the wrestling world upside down, and I know a thing or two about being upside down. Godspeed, Mr. Mussolini. We have $1.99 from Mavs Fan 84. Tana Ibushi G1 Finals thoughts. One of my favorite ever. That's an incredible match. It's one of the best G1 Finals ever. It's like as good as wrestling gets. Honestly, it's so great, and it was such an inspired choice too. Like I loved that Tanahashi won that G1.
It was awesome.
Because nobody thought he was winning that G1, but then when he does, first of all, beating Ibushi, who idolizes Tanahashi, and then when you realize that it's going to be Tanahashi versus Omega in the main event of the Tokyo Dome, and it's like wow, this is obviously a match that anybody wanted to see, but I don't think it's the match that anybody expected to see, and yet it's going to be awesome, and it did end up being awesome.
Tanahashi winning the G1 was awesome. I have fundamental differences on how they told the story of Omega Tanahashi after he won the G1. I was not a fan of that story.
Oh, really? I thought it was great.
But I really hated that story a lot, and and I wish it was better because that Omega Tanahashi was an insane match, one of my favorite matches ever. The end of an era of New Japan, some of us would say, but but that the storyline wasn't great. But Tanahashi's the man. He's as good as it gets.
Who's banging in my ears right now? All right, anyway.
Drew McIntyre.
We have is that Ibrahima?
Who?
Naring with a $9.99 super chat. He couldn't be bothered to say a damn thing. Just the $9.99 super chat. Now he's DMing Monty, and he's like, "Can I get reimbursed for this, please? I just did it to get some more super chats going." So yeah, thanks, I guess.
Thank you, my pal.
All right.
You should turn his camera on.
Yeah, you turn your goddamn camera on. What's wrong with you?
I'll give you that $9.99 back, and you can go get a webcam.
He also owes me $50 that he hasn't paid, paid me back.
You still haven't got that yet?
No, he's a waffler. He doesn't own anything. He has no money. He's poor. He's a fraud. I'm glad you left the group chat yesterday.
He owes me my time because he told me when I was at Raw that Sasha was coming out in the main event, and actually just Raquel and Aaliyah won. So I had to watch that happen,
cool.
and I got stuck in traffic. So thank you for the payback.
We did get Omega Ibushi versus Tanahashi and Ospreay.
That match
that was incredible.
That Golden Lovers run ending just killed me. That was
it was so good. It was like an incredible 2 years.
Like 6 matches. It was like 6 matches, and all of them were 4 stars. And
yeah. Bucks, Okada, Ishii,
even
Tanahashi, Ospreay,
even Cody and Hangman.
Yes, that's a great one. That's a super underrated match.
Tanahashi and Ishii and Okada.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah.
Cody Rhodes, I miss him, man.
He says false Murph. What was that in reference to?
When he told me that Sasha Banks was coming back.
I'm pretty sure that's true.
We still love it.
And then Maps 84. Where do get Ibushi versus Omega rematch? It's got WWE. Shut up. That's not happening. That's not happening. You guys are freaking out over nothing. He's not going to goddamn WWE. Neither of them are. Okay. Let's okay. Okada versus Tanahashi, Mercedes versus Kairi. That's all the big stuff on the show. But there's like other big matches here. It's a pretty stacked card, top to bottom. We don't need to go super in depth with a lot of these, but just in reverse order: Zack Sabre Jr. versus Clark Connors for the NJPW World Television Championship. Should be a lot of fun.
Clark Connors won my heart at Forbidden Door.
Oh, me too.
It's really weird theme that you didn't expect. Like when you see Clark Connors, you expect this country theme and
it's like
hanging thing.
It's so good. It's a great theme.
It's a house theme. And then Clark Connors, he had that big moment, and then they did nothing with him for 7 months. But I mean, that's how New Japan got it.
Yeah, it's time for some of these guys that they've got. It's are they gonna do anything with them ever? Come on, they're just so patient. I'm not patient. Tom Lawlor versus Homicide in a no disqualification, no ropes match. We'll see about that. I bet they bleed. So
Homicide's kind of bad in 2023.
Yeah, he is. He's a name.
Tom Lawler's a great guy.
I never thought Homicide was that good.
I like Homicide. He's a New York guy. He's he's as good. He's the king in the New York thing. But Tom Lawler is one of my favorite wrestlers going. Tom Lawler, if you're watching,
Lawler's
I'd
great.
really love to talk to you on here. Let's set that up. But Tom Lawler, big fan, filthy. Let's get that.
We have, and probably the third biggest match on the show, but it's only 5th from the top. Jay White versus Eddie Kingston in a singles match. This ends up being Jay White's final New Japan match. Who knows? But Eddie's been notably absent from AEW TV, so it'll be nice to see him wrestle. Yeah, Jamie.
Yeah, I think on the in the post match comments after the Hikuleo loss, Jay White was kind of like, "Oh, Ghetto, I want you to come with me to America, but only if I beat Eddie Kingston." So I kind of think he might be losing, and then that's it. Because a lot of people thought maybe Jay White's just going to Strong because it was loser leaves Japan and not New Japan, but like
Right.
no.
Eddie's kind of the defender of non-WWE wrestling. He's like our crusader. So I think Eddie's gonna send his ass to Stanford. Eddie's gonna slap him up a little bit, get the pin, and send his ass to the WWE.
You know what they probably did? Is they probably only said loser leaves Japan instead of New Japan so that Jay White could do this show.
Yeah.
And then it may literally be just as simple as that.
I really hope that the Eddie Kingston, like, this is like a shoot, like real. He's gonna be thinking like, this motherfucker wants to go to the WWE, and like, I'm gonna.
He needs to not do that. He needs to remember that wrestling's fake. And he needs to, because it's believe it or not, it's actually not based when people are unsafe in the ring. Alex Shelley, Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, defending against Team Filthy in defending the New Japan Strong tag titles against Team Filthy. I'm sure it'll be good. Machine Guns are great. Fred Rosser versus Kenta for the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship. I like that Kenta loses a singles match and then he gets to challenge for the New Japan Strong Championship. This one's kind of interesting though, because like, are they going to let Fred Rosser beat Kenta, or is Kenta going to be the Strong champion? Like, both of those results are like weird to me. So yeah.
I mean, they don't do a ton with Kenta in Japan, so if he wants to have a little run in America, then
he lives in America too. So like,
yeah.
Murph, JC Jane thinks she's Britt Baker. Thoughts?
I mean, JC Jane's was the third best person in her 3-man group, and also I have a really funny JC Jane story I'm going to tell you separately, but that's kind of ridiculous because Britt Baker's
she's better than Mandy actually. But
shut up. Britt Baker's one of a kind. DMD, the queen, love her.
DMD.
Love her. Love Britt Baker.
Then we got like Josh Alexander's on the show, the Impact World Championship, Kushida, Volador, Mascara Dorado, Bobby Fish.
Fish.
Volador, just
former Beast of the Week, Bobby Fish.
I love Volador and Mascara Dorado, and I hope Mystico gets on these shows soon. Because Mystico's really
he was on Strong like late last year. So I assume he will.
Literally, one of my favorite wrestling moments was Mystico returning as Mystico last year. Legitimately, my favorite wrestling moment, one of my favorites of the year.
CMLL has been awesome this year. I mean, it's been one of the probably after AEW and after AEW, New Japan, and All Japan, it's been maybe my favorite.
I said on a Twitter poll, "Do you want us to talk lucha?" And everyone really was sound to that. So if you want us to start talking about CMLL and what you want to watch and what you like, I think Japanese wrestling and Mexican wrestling kind of go hand in hand in a way. So if you guys want us to start talking about Mexican wrestling, we'd love to do that.
And I want to say quickly, I don't know if a lot of people know this about me. I maintain my favorite style of wrestling. It's not American. It's not Japanese. It's not Joshi.
We share the same thought on this.
My favorite style of wrestling is Lucha Libre. Like, if there was a consistently great, well-booked, well-put-together Lucha Libre company, which CMLL was a few years ago on, the consistent Friday night Super Viernes, right? Then that would be my favorite promotion, almost certainly, over anything else. Yeah, maybe not over AEW and stuff like that, but man, I just, but it's just not there. CMLL is so traditional. They have great fundamentals, but the excitement sometimes isn't there. AAA is the complete inverse of that. They have all the spectacular wrestlers in the world you could want, all the great fun brawling, all the high flying, all that type of stuff. And the booking is nonsensical and inconsistent. And a lot of times the wrestlers, frankly, don't try that hard. However, CMLL so far this year, I've watched every Super Viernes show, and I've watched most of the Tuesday shows as well, the Martes shows, and they've been great. They've been great. A couple great main events. Of course, everybody knows the Rocky versus Volador match that got a ton of praise. But then there was what was it? It was Rey del Aires, which is like the King of the Air, King of the Skies. That was a great. It was essentially an 8-man tag, and then once one side had been eliminated, the remainder just fought each other. Great match, just tons of obviously great high flying throughout there. There was an awesome Soberano versus Templario match. Templario is one of those names that like nobody knows who he is, but he's fantastic. I mean, he's like, I would compare him to like an Aramis or an Ares in AAA, for example. And
I
then
really like there was a Mystico versus
Mystico
Stuka.
versus Stuka.
Yeah. I love that match. And I've watched a few of these CMLL shows too, and like I would agree that when Lucha is good, I don't think there's anything like more enjoyable to watch in wrestling. When the Ric Flair remember the Ric Flair retirement show? They had that 4-way. So I watched
and it's
that show.
like, wow, it's almost like good Lucha Libre is better than pretty much anything else.
I watched that show with my dad, and my dad doesn't really like watch. Right, he'll watch a show if he's there and it's on with me, but he stayed up for the show with me, and the match he was most into was like easily this Lucha show. It's just like, it's just good shit, man. So it is good to see.
So we'll definitely talk about that more. I would actually love to consistently watch, to get into consistently watching and talking about that. But in the meantime, I've had this super chat up for a while. Mavs fan 84, biggest AEW / New Japan match that can happen. A lot of people would say Okada Danielson, but for me it would be Tanahashi Danielson. Would be generational GOAT match. Thank you, Mavs fan. That would be a huge one. There's so many big ones. I
still think it's Kenny and Okada.
The match that has happened 4 times already.
Yes, I still think that's the match that changed wrestling. Okay,
I get what you're saying. I was thinking first time matchups. Yes, that is the biggest one. Either that or probably, it wouldn't be Omega Ibushi anymore, would it? Because Ibushi's not with New Japan anymore. But
it's Kenny and Okada, or I think Tanahashi and Danielson too.
If we're including matches that have already happened, then whenever Kenny and Ospreay run it back, that's going to be huge.
Yeah, that's going to be huge as well.
I really hope.
I'm trying to think of first time matchups. Like
I think the Okada Danielson one is probably.
Did Moxley Okada ever happen?
No, they teamed, but
right. So, I mean that would be a huge one. I'm trying to think of who else would be big. Yeah.
I'm not going to be big, but it's the match that I really, really want.
Kip Sabian versus Yujiro.
I want Keith Lee versus all these people. Like I want Keith Lee working a match against Shingo. That's what I'll say. Keith Lee versus Keith Lee. That's like the match I think about all the time.
Interesting. I don't know about that. I don't know if Shingo can get Keith Lee on his shoulders.
Ibrahim and Yang, another super chat.
Parker's favorite style is the LA Knight Ethan Page EC3 American style. First of all, I like Ethan Page.
I like all three of them.
No, the other two are bad.
I like EC3 of like 28.
LA Knight fucking sucks, and people have memed themselves into liking him.
No,
they don't actually like him. Jamie, be on my side on this. Nobody actually likes LA Knight. They just like and they like
I like that. But I mean, he's like the worst Impact champion ever, probably.
Yeah, he's it's like people have forgotten that he's like garbage at wrestling.
Tommy, yeah.
He had a horrible feud with Cameron Grimes in NXT.
What? What?
Yes, a horrible feud. I said what I said.
What are you saying? How?
Yeah, it was bad. That's what I'm saying. How was it bad? Because Cameron Grimes is great.
What are you talking?
Yeah, they had the $1 Million Man, and people didn't know he was on the show.
Parker,
because
it was so
bad.
Most egregious thing I've ever heard you say.
People were like, "Did you know that the $1 Million Man has been on NXT for like the past 2 months?" And then people would be like, "What? Really?" Because LA Knight's garbage.
That was great.
I hate LA Knight. I hope he retires. I hate LA Knight. I hate The Miz. I hate EC3. I hate all those types of wrestlers.
That's a bad take.
You're bad. You're bad. You're bad. I'm just giving my opinions. I don't.
Britt Baker is bad.
No. Now Britt Baker's good. Britt Baker used to be this type of wrestler, but now she's good.
She's got better. I'll give her that.
I love Britt Baker.
Britt Baker actually used to fall squarely in this camp of type of wrestler.
Yeah,
but I think she's better now.
She has improved. I'll give her credit.
I was on the Britt Baker train in 2017.
Okay, congrats.
Seems like a lot.
What when you were like 9?
2017, I'd be 13. So no.
Oh, sorry, I was way off. All right, yeah, there has been a lot of.
I like that, honestly. I think
you
that.
Do what? You don't like me? It's because you're my little bro. Bray Wyatt carried LA Knight to 0.5 stars. That is correct. Pitch Black match. Friend of the show. Pitch Black. Okay. So that's that for the Battle in the Valley preview. Quickly, let's just do a little roundup, a little whip around of all the important happenings in Japan this past weekend, and then we'll get into our beasts of the week. Sound like a plan, guys?
Yeah. Oh, is this I mentioned this in the group chat. Is this the last podcast we have for the Muto show, or is there one more
next week? Right.
Oh.
I think
we'll be doing the day of. Yeah.
I think it's next Tuesday, so the show will happen before. I literally might take work off that day to watch that show, because how are you gonna do a dumb guy live and not watch the show? You know what I mean?
My senior schedule is where I'm done at 12:30, so I'm just gonna come home, like get in my pajamas.
I literally might do that next Tuesday. Okay, we'll see about that. Anyway, this is so. I think we should actually talk about that. All right.
Yeah.
Keiji Muto versus Tetsuya Naito is the main event. The match is secondary. Let's talk about Muto and what he has meant to our own personal fandoms.
Can I say it?
Yeah, go for it. He's like your favorite Japanese wrestler of all time, or you think he's the best, right?
I think he's my favorite and the best Japanese wrestler of all time. Like, I'm just a Muto guy. Like, you know, the way I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you without Muto. Like, I remember.
Saved your life?
No, on the podcast.
I'm joking, Merv.
But basically, like, Wrestle One TNA partnership was like my gateway to Japanese wrestling. That and Bryan Danielson's Wikipedia page.
Bro, I love Wrestle One. I love Wrestle One.
So I love Keiji Muto, and Keiji Muto. You know, I think that throughout his career in WCW, in All Japan, in New Japan, in Wrestle One, in TNA, and in Noah, and everywhere, he's just been a highlight of wrestling to me. I mean, there's no one has more charisma in Japan. I mean, the guy is so unreal. He's still charismatic. He's unpredictable. You know, he makes every match feel big. You know, he has the great Muda, which is like the best alter ego of all time, and has like inspired so many wrestlers. You know, I just think that he's the pro wrestling master, Keiji Muto. You know, I'm gonna be very sad when he retires, because even in his old age, he's been a highlight to me. One of my favorite moments last year was when Keiji Muto showed up in my favorite promotion, Dragon Gate. You know, it was kind of like a best of both worlds.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And, you know, like Muto is just, it's a shame, because my dream, I always wanted to see Muto in person again. I've seen him twice, and you know, I wish I could have seen it again. But I'm really happy that, you know, Muto's had such a great farewell. Noah's been doing the Muto farewell tour. It's been almost perfection, in my opinion. And, you know, Muto's just, there's no one better, in my opinion, ever in Japan. I mean, he's the pro wrestling master. He's the guy. I mean, he's gone through all these promotions, and I mean, he wasn't the one that killed Wrestle One. A lot of other things killed Wrestle One that I'm not going to talk about on here because I don't want to get killed. But, you know, Wrestle One, you know, the things he did, and he just has such a great mind for wrestling. And, you know, he's just one of the best. So, Keiji Muto, thank you for your career, because you're the man.
Yeah, I think he's one of the best ever to do it in Japan. I've never been like a Muto guy per se, like beyond recognizing that he's of course fantastic. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm a particularly more of a Muto fan or a Hashimoto fan or whoever in the mid 90s, and you know, in New Japan when it was really his heyday, right? But I mean, he's just one of those guys who's like kind of undeniable. He wasn't like a work rate fiend or anything. And when you compare him against some of his contemporaries like Kobashi and Misawa and even people like Choshu, right, that were more just getting over through the things they were doing in the wrestling ring, as opposed to Muto, who got over in his unbelievable charisma and popularity and the good looks and being able to turn into that Muda character too, like when it warranted things. So he's just a legend. And the fact that he's able to be this, you always want to see people kind of go out on their own terms, and he sort of has, right? Like obviously he can't do much more, right? He would struggle to keep going beyond that. But he is going out on his own terms in the sense that he probably essentially booked his own retirement tour. I'm sure he's in charge of everything going on with this Tokyo Dome show. I find it very interesting that a lot of people are considering this to be like a Noah show. This is very clearly a New Japan / Noah like co-branded show if you look at the actual promotion of it and everything, which I think is fitting. It's Keiji Muto, right? And I think the promotion that he should be obviously most associated with throughout his career, which where he was for the first 15, 20 years of his career, is New Japan. So I think it's very
That's a
fitting.
funny thing, Parker. I think of Muto as an All Japan wrestler because that's that's like the weird like the age thing. Because when I think of
Wrestle One was an All Japan like offshoot,
essentially. Yeah, so I mean that's just like I think the difference of age there, but I mean
yeah, for sure. But I mean clearly a New Japan guy, right? Like a million times IWGP heavyweight champion. Yeah. He was IWGP heavyweight champion while in All Japan in like 2008.
New Japan partnership.
Right. Yeah. A huge part of that, of course. And yeah, one of the few Japanese wrestlers to actually get over as a legitimate American wrestling star, which that you can't say that for many
I think there's less than 5, honestly. I mean,
I'm trying to think. There's like Asuka, Nakamura,
Takeshita at this point, I think, starting to get there.
Takeshita will get there, of course. But like you wouldn't consider like Tajiri or anybody in like Kai and Tai or anything like that, right? So yeah, Funaki. I wouldn't say Funaki. No way. Funaki's just a dude. Yeah. So yeah, I think Muto's great. I think he's had a great career. A 40-year career in wrestling, a 39-year career. He debuted in October of 1984. By the way, Yoshinari Ogawa debuted in the same class as him, still wrestling. Masakatsu Funaki debuted in the same class as him, still wrestling. Pretty unbelievable, the longevity and just the star power of that class, right? But yeah, I mean, not much more to say. I also have to say one thing. I thought the match where he won the GHC Heavyweight Championship against Go Shiozaki was spectacular. I thought that match was fantastic. I don't know that there's ever been somebody that old who has put on a match that good in like wrestling history.
The Kiyomiya match from last year, I thought was also tremendous.
Which one?
The Kiyomiya match last year.
Oh, yes, I did as well. Yes. I think I slightly prefer the Shiozaki match, just of the shock of it in the end. But of course, for storytelling purposes, I do think the Kiyomiya match passing the torch. I mean, Kiyomiya has subsequently won the N1 and the GHC Heavyweight Championship with Muto's moveset and mannerisms, right? So, or Muto's, I should say. So that's really cool too. Jamie, thoughts on Muto?
It's just like, well, I think you've kind of hit pretty much everything that is.
Yeah, we talked a lot.
Yeah, he's just like undoubtedly, like undeniably one of the greatest to ever do it. As well got over crazy in America. It's just just echo everything you guys have said. I've loved the retirement tour. Ton of really fun matches, even matches where like because of his age and stuff, like the work rate hasn't been like anything crazy, but it's on pure vibes. It's just like the matches have been great. You look at like the
he got Nakamura to come back to Japan while under WWE contract.
Exactly, yeah, exactly, and Nakamura as well, who's like hasn't really done anything notable in WWE in like forever. Just like
Right.
that match was crazy. The match, the Sting and Darby trios match, that was great. And like you said, the Kiyomiya one as well. Just a ton of matches like that. But yeah, he's one of the best to ever do it.
Happy birthday!
And yeah, he's going out. Dumb guy live.
It's your birthday this week, so happy birthday, our friend of the show.
Yeah. But yeah, just one of the best to ever do it, and he's going out on his own terms, which is but it's nice. It's gonna be a great match as well. I'm hoping.
There's so many great matches on this Tokyo Dome card. We're not going to get to all of them, but I do want to briefly touch on some of them. Obviously, Okada versus Kiyomiya is like the attraction beyond Muto. So stoked for this one. The angle that set it up, one of the best Japanese angles in years, right? So it should just be fantastic.
Incredible.
I'm thinking Okada just beats him. But and I think that's okay.
I think Okada wins and Amakusa wins. I think they do that. Or Okada, the big ones.
You really think that? See, I think it doesn't matter. I think Hiromu's winning that too. I
think Amakusa wins. They really like him, and I think they're like, it's not as big, obviously, but it's like a little trade off, a little bit.
Other stuff. Nosawa Rongai is retiring. Really unique career for him too. And
very excited for this match.
Yeah, I am too. I've just become such a, just like I very much appreciate Nosawa because he's like, some may question his booking, and he obviously has his tastes, which are the legends and crazy luchadors, right? And you can question building pro wrestling Noah around those things, but I've just become so appreciative of that. He's the one who gave us Ninja Mac, friend of the show, in Noah, which I'm not sure would have happened if Nosawa was not booking, and the incredible three-way with him and Alpha Wolf and Dragon Bane and all that. So
he gave us Vegeta, who I love.
Yeah. So Nosawa, I'm glad that he gets to go out in the Tokyo Dome.
Honestly, this show wouldn't even be happening. I don't think Muto would have gone to Noah without Nosawa. So thank you, Nosawa. I really like Nozawa's career. I've been following it. It's a weird career, but it's a
weird career. Spending a lot of time in Mexico.
I mean, Nozawa's just like, he's also like Nozawa. I think I'm going to steal this from Mike Spears. He's the most Dragon Gate wrestler to never be signed with Dragon Gate. He's
yeah. Well, he was Triangle Gate champion last year. Like,
and he actually was booking the company.
He was booking. We should talk about this more. Okay. All Japan versus Noah, big time six-man tag match. Kento, Suwama, and Yuma versus Keno, Nakajima, and Soya.
Nakajima versus Miyahara. Wow, Kensuke Office. This is huge. I mean, this is
so much great stuff. And again, I don't want to go super in depth in any of this, but this is just to get across how great this card is. Then we get Marufuji, Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., and Ninja Mac, friend of the show, wrestling in the Tokyo Dome, by the way, against Shun Skywalker, Kai, and Diamante.
I'm really excited for the world to see Diamante.
Diamante in the Tokyo Dome. Shun in the Tokyo Dome.
I'm really, really excited for the world to see Diamante. The world seeing
I'm
Shun.
So glad that Kai is on the show.
No, Kai needed to be on the show. Kai and Sonata needed to be on the show. And I mean, they're both on it. But Kai is a Muto protege. Kai's career has been linked with Muto. Went with him to Wrestle 1 from All Japan. And Kai, I hope Kai has a big moment on the show. And I hope that Kai gets the pin. Is really my thing.
10-man tag with all the Noah Juniors. Daga's in there, weirdly. We have, and then, heavyweight 6-man tag with Sugiura, Kojima, and Thatcher, like Sugiura-gun against the good-looking guys. So that'll be fun as well. TJPW offer match, which is Yuka Sakazaki, Miyu Yamashita, Shoko Nakajima, and Rika Tatsumi against Mizuki, Maki Ito, Miyo Watanabe, and Yuki Arai. Rika Tatsumi in the Tokyo Dome. I'm excited about that.
Yuki Arai. That's the biggest star on the show is Yuki Arai. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, it's kind of like the big four push wrestlers in TJPW versus the four that everyone wants.
It's the big six plus Miyu plus Yuki. And that's that. And then freshly crowned GHC Tag Team Champions Masa Kitamiya and Daiki Inaba will be taking on Yoshiki Inamura and Yasutaka Yano.
I was not thrilled about, just to jump into that last no-show, I was not really that thrilled about that title change.
I'm sure you weren't. Did you watch the match, Murph?
Yeah, it was a great match, and I
thought the match was awesome. It like blew away my expectations. I was like, wow.
Don't get me wrong. That match was awesome, but I mean, I really, really, really loved Kojima and Segura.
I get it.
They
were great.
Origin of Soccer.
I did not think at all that they were going to win that. But that's Noah, right? For better and for worse, Noah is without a doubt the least predictable company in Japan.
I'm just really happy that Eita is gonna just kept his belt because I really like the Eita and Ogawa Oddfellows thing a lot.
I do too. I think they're fun. So on that show, I did not get a chance to watch this main event yet. I watched up to the junior tag, and then I was like so tired last night, and I had to go to sleep.
It was a good match. It was a good showing for friend of the show, Jack Morris.
Jack Morris.
It was a good showing. And I mean, I didn't even know who this guy was a year ago. I don't think any of us knew, but this wrestling match.
No idea.
Against Kiyomiya and Eddie on. But to move on, Parker actually forgot a match on this card for the Muto card. You forgot this.
Did I forget what Sonata was in? Yeah.
No, you forgot the DDT match.
DDT. Oh, bro, I skipped over it because it's not notable.
I thought you were doing all the matches. My bad.
No, it's literally just like Ueno. It's just 30 like Sauna Club against Endo and Young Lions.
I'm just really excited to see Endo in the Tokyo Dome. That's what I'm really excited for.
Yeah, it's whatever. I don't care. It's whatever.
Okay. Jamie-san, you have something to say, right?
Yeah, I just before we wrap up and get to Beast of the Week, I wanted to very quickly touch on the big Stardom news.
You're right, Jamie. I completely missed it. Walk us through all that happened.
So I can't remember exactly what a couple of days ago now. I'm going to bed. I see Stardom post. We're going to have a press conference. That's going to be like in the morning for me. I didn't know what it was about. I was like, oh, great, we're going to get some like new match announcements when I wake up. I wake up and Himeka of Donna Del Mondo has announced that she will be retiring as a pro wrestler in April. Himeka debuted in 2017. She came from Actress Girls and then obviously joined Stardom in 2020, I believe.
2020,
joined Donna Del Mondo. Featured mainly as like a tag team wrestler with Micah. And she's one of my favorites. I don't think she's one of like the absolute best wrestlers in the company, but I enjoy her a lot. So this is kind of sad news for me. But she's announced she revealed 4 opponents she'd like to face before retiring.
Yeah, this is good. I love her little checklist.
Yeah, we have a few of these. I think one of these has been confirmed now as happening soon. So coming up on Stardom in Showcase on, I believe, the 26th of February. We're getting a trios match. Donna Del Mondo, Julia, Micah, and Himeka against Prominence. I believe it's Suzu Suzuki, Risa Sera, and Hiragi Kurumi. I think that's like they're the artist champions right now. And that'll be a hardcore match. She specifically wanted the hardcore match involving Risa Sera, so that's good. She wants a match with Chihiro Hashimoto of Sendai Girls, which I think will be great. Himeka's a great host wrestler, and Chihiro Hashimoto is Chihiro Hashimoto. We saw what she did in that Mirai match, so that'll be great.
So yeah, this has been announced for the March 3rd show, which is also where they're doing Kid versus Azumi.
Yeah, I remember. So when Hashimoto beat Mirai, she said she wants one more big match before she gets to Shuri. So that's why she and they were getting that. She'd like a match with, I believe it's Kakeru Sekiguchi.
Yep, Kakeru Sekiguchi.
Who they wrestled together in Actress Girls. So that'll be a nice moment. And then finally, at All Star Grand Queendom, which we talked about before, going to be the biggest Stardom show probably of the year. She'll be taking on Micah, my Hime tag team partner. That's going to be an emotional one. I love them as a tag team. I was rooting for them to win the Goddess Tag League. They just had a really great tag team match on the last Stardom pay-per-view. We talked about that. My second favorite tag team match of the year thus far. And I've loved these two as a team. It's going to be, it's going to be sad to see Himeka end their career, but I couldn't have thought of like a better opponent for a last match. Those two have been like together since they both came into the company. And then in May, there'll be an official retirement ceremony. But yeah, we've not got long left of Himeka. And yeah, so we've got to enjoy these last few matches we're getting. But there's some big matches coming up for her. So
Yeah, Himeka, not somebody. I was never like the biggest Himeka fan. I first found out about her in Ice Ribbon, believe it or not. She wrestled a lot in Ice Ribbon before she went to Stardom, because Ice Ribbon and Actress Girls were pretty closely intertwined at that time. Yeah, the biggest thing I want to remember about Himeka is sort of twofold. First of all, coming in 2020 in that and obviously horrible pandemic year, winning her block in the 5-star Grand Prix, like that's a big accolade. You think about how big the 5-star is now. To win a block in the 5-star and in a block that also had Mayu and Julia in it, I think it's pretty cool. And then the big thing for me with the cheering show a couple weeks ago, she's so popular. The people just love her. She's more over than Micah, which is saying something. Definitely always disappointing when people retire, if especially if you feel like they still have room to grow, which I do think Himeka does. But at the same time, wrestling's a tough business. I have no doubt that those things can be compounded by if you're a young woman in Japan, with all the extra baggage and stuff that comes with being a Joshi wrestler, right? So to get out when you can, I think is admirable too. So yeah.
Just what I mentioned as well. She gave a little brief reason around why she wanted to retire. She said she's not injured. She hasn't had any like long-term injuries throughout her career. So it's nice to see she's going out on her own terms. I'd much rather my favorite wrestlers, get to choose when to retire than like have that forced upon them. And also, I think she said when she debuted, she said, I'll give myself 5 years, and if I'm satisfied with my career after that, then I'm going to call it a day. And she said, she never made it to those top 2 belts, but she also said she feels like she was never really like I don't know, she didn't feel like she was going to get there, or didn't feel like in herself that she was like good enough to be there. I think she absolutely could have. She had a lot of room to grow. But I've enjoyed Himeka, so I'm gonna look forward to these last few matches we got.
Okay, guys, let's get into the goddamn beast of the week for the past week. Okay, Jamie, kick it off.
I want to go. I have a few. I don't want to step on any toes here, because I feel like the guy I was about to say, Murph, might pick him.
Go for it. Just
I'm gonna do it. Murph, I'm sorry if this is your guy. My beast of the week is Roosh. I'm sorry.
What? That was my pick too. I think. All right. If all 3 of us were gonna pick the same person, then we don't need to go any further.
Is he
the dumb guy?
He is unanimously the beast of the week.
How about we do Roosh and then we all give one? We give one.
Yeah, but we'll give like an
no. I'm cutting you off. The beast of the week for Dumb Guy Live this week is motherfucking Roosh.
I had a Cody Jack a little bit. All set up.
All right, I'm gonna say my piece in that incredible match against Bryan Danielson on AW Dynamite this past week. I actually gave when Monty does who's your wrestler of the week and all that, I actually went with Danielson because I think he's probably. Did you really?
Oh, I said Roosh.
That's but it was just such a great match, and Danielson is one of those guys that obviously we know Bandito's great, we know Roosh is great, but I don't think that most people knew necessarily how great they were until they had their recent matches with Bryan Danielson. But it takes 2 to tango, and if Roosh doesn't come off as a fucking beast, a monster in this match against Danielson, then I don't think the match gets as good as it does. I legitimately think this is one of the 10 best TV matches in AW history.
I agree.
And I'm proud to give it to
I gave it the full 5, which it was the only match this week that I gave the full 5. I liked it more than the Okada Takagi. I thought it was tremendous. And here's the thing with Roosh. Roosh's entire career, he's been talked shit on. Everyone thought, oh, signing him to AW is a bad idea. He's unprofessional. He doesn't take pins. Well, I mean, Roosh has proved everyone wrong. Roosh has been incredible. And I might even well say Roosh has done what we all expected Andrade to do. We all thought Andrade would come in, be a great wrestler, doing great matches, and doing all this. And actually, Andrade was a whiny bitch who punched someone. I'm just gonna say it. He punched someone to try and get fired. Well, Roosh is working his ass off. He's outworking everyone like Christian Cage. He's a fucking beast. He's the beast. The beast. He's like the eternal beast. He's the definition of beast. When you look in the Murph dictionary and you see beast, it says like a guy like Roosh. Like Roosh. And you see, Roosh didn't spend the last week preparing for that Danielson match. He was at Disney World with his young son. He was on Space Mountain. And then on Wednesday, he wrestled the match of his life. So, Roosh, thank you. I thank you, Roosh.
It's been very gratifying as Lucha Libre fans with so many people who come over from Mexico and try to make the crossover leap. And frankly, they're not given a fair shake most of the time. So to see Roosh come through and really just like kill it, it's been really cool. It's been really cool to see. And yeah, I guess we'll see his brother sometime soon on Tuesdays as well. All right. Okay. So just like us. Okay. That's going to wrap it up for us today, everybody. Please follow this account and follow Jamie down there too.
Can I add one thing?
Murph doesn't really tweet. Yeah?
I would like to announce that I will be returning for the first time in a couple months to the Wrestle Purist Thursday podcast on Thursday. So for all the Dumb Guy Live fans who don't watch that show, which is not many people since they get like triple what we do, I will be on this Thursday. They're hyping up the return of Anna, and Anna's great, but you're gonna have me too. So you're gonna have two young people instead of Ibu, who's like 40. So we'll see you Thursday.
All right, guys. For Jamie and for Murph, this is Dumb Guy Live this week. We will see you next week. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody, and rest in peace, Jerry Jarrett.